Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining us on Kwara TV News. Now, reaching you live from Kwara State Television Authority at Pattaya Akuba, along the Kwara State capital. You're watching the Kwara TV News on Star Time, channel 113, and Free TV channel 502. You can always view us from wherever you're watching us from on Facebook at Kwara TV. I am Zakaria Surakat, and I will begin from security issues where the United States government has delivered critical military supplies to Nigeria in support of the country's ongoing security operations. This was disclosed by the United States Africa Command, AFRICOM, in a statement posted on its verified X handle on Tuesday, noting that the supplies were handed over to Nigerian authorities in Abuja. The command stated that the delivery underscores the United States' continued commitment to strengthening its security partnership with Nigeria. The last support comes amid sustained efforts by Nigeria and its international partners to enhance capacity in addressing security challenges across the country. The delivery comes against the backdrop of intensified Nigerian military operations targeting terrorist networks across multiple regions. Nigeria and the United States have maintained a long-standing security relationship centered on counterterrorism, intelligence sharing, military training, and logistical supplies. The partnership has been largely shaped by Nigeria's fight against Boko Haram and its breakaway faction, the Islamic State of West Africa Province, ISWAP, and as well as rising threats from terror groups exploiting ungoverned spaces. U.S. assistance to Nigeria has included training programs for military units, provisions of logistic and equipment, and capacity building initiatives designed to improve operational effectiveness. Moving on to bilateral relations, Nigeria has reiterated its bilateral relationship with the United Arab Emirates, UAE, with a view to deepening trade and unlock sustainable investment between the two nations. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu reaffirmed his commitment on Tuesday in his address at the Abu Dhabi Sustainability Summit. Tinubu said the relationship would create a new opportunity for the Nigerian people as well as that of the UAE. The president called for partnership to build the next chapter of a sustainable and shared prosperity for Nigeria, Africa, and the world. He said Nigeria is committed to ensuring that transition to a sustainable future is an inclusive and gender equality, youth empowerment, skill development, and job creation, as well as mainstreamed across the climate program and initiatives. Moving on to education matters, the recent reforms of the federal government banning graduation ceremonies for all the classes except primary 6, JS3 and SS3, and the revise of the learning materials has generated mixed reactions. Fatima Mohammed spoke to parents and stakeholders in Ilorin on the development. Her report.
As part of ongoing reforms to reposition Nigeria's education sector, the federal government, through the Ministry of Education, has banned graduation ceremonies in schools for all classes, saying only pupils and students who completed primary 6, junior secondary school JS3, and senior secondary school 3 SS3 we hold graduation ceremonies. The reform also prioritizes the use of standardized, durable textbooks designed to last between 4 and 6 years, while expressly prohibiting the bundling of disposable workbooks with textbooks in schools. Speaking with Kwara TV News on the development, some parents expressed satisfaction and commended the federal government, which they said will go a long way in reducing financial burden on them.
A parent that have 3 or 4 children, and you ask him to start, buying textbook all the time, it's not applicable. So because of that, I felt federal government is bringing a good decision for us to key into it.
When you have a ward that is children in the same school, and one is graduating to another class, the next person, and you say another new textbook should be purchased, it's a stress on the parents, especially with...
On their part, some stakeholders stressed that the measure We allow siblings to share textbooks, which in turn will reduce waste within the school system.
The money that the parents will be using to buy textbook for different children will be used or be channeled to another place.
Okay. Parents are complaining, especially at this present economic situation we have ourselves. Graduation as kindergarten, graduation as pre-nursery, and so on and so forth.
The graduation that goes on in the country for some time now have not made the students to sit up and know why they are in school. Everything matters. It's like we are deceiving those students. That's why they are not serious. And
the reforms they noted is in response to long-standing concerns over frequent but cosmetic textbooks revisions and practices that compel parents to purchase new textbooks annually without corresponding improvements in content. Fatima Muhammad, Kwara TV News.
Still on education matters, following the directive by the Kwara State government on school resumptions and the initiative of radio teaching to students in areas faced by security challenges, education experts as parents are not too happy. Howard Dauda spoke to some stakeholders in the education sector, parents and guidance in Ilorin, the Kwara State capital, on the effectiveness of the development as well as suggesting a better way to addressing the challenge to education. Her report.
In compliance with the directive on school resumption across Kwara State on 5th of January 2026 by the Kwara State government through the Ministry of Education, which also ordered the closure of school in bandit-prone areas, there are grave concerns on the effect of this development on the school calendar and the overall teaching and learning process. Reacting to the development, some stakeholders who spoke to Kwara TV News expressed fears on the implication the initiative will have on the pupils and the students, noting that for radio teaching to be effective, they need to be guided by their parents and guidance. They pointed out that several students in the physical class have assimilation problems, so to think a virtual classroom or a radio class can substitute a physical teacher-learner's experience is unfair. Furthermore, at primary and secondary level, a robust question and answer segment is required for quality learning.
Even with children in the four walls of the classroom, most of them don't grab the learning.
I don't think that can be effective teaching like that, because even a teacher teaching the pupils in the class is a tug of war. You need to check on them.
It will not be easy for the children, especially the nursery classes. It will not be easy for them to understand what we are teaching them.
They added that the initiative could have negative impact on the academic calendar as students might not cover the syllabus, as well students who will be sitting for their SSCE. However, these parents said the development is a welcome idea if only students will have maximum learning through other e-learning platforms, which will enhance their educational exposure, especially in today's digital world.
I want to believe that if government will improve its commitment to it, like adding some things to it, not just making it on radio, if those parents or those children will have a kind of a kids tablets or iPad where they will be seeing their teachers while it's teaching them, and then they will be privileged to ask a question.
Our respondents urged government to move quickly and decisively in finding lasting solutions to insecurity and the deadly threats to public safety in Kwara State.
I will urge the government to provide adequate security, no matter whatever is going to cost the government, if the government have the interests of the citizens at heart.
My advice to government is to make sure that they provide security to those areas.
Hawwa Dauda, Kwara TV News.
Away from education to political matters, the All Progressive Congress, APC, has on Tuesday rejected claims by Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been absent from his duties, stating that the president remains fully engaged in governance. In a statement signed by the party's Lagos State spokesperson, Sheye Oladejo, explaining that the president continues to perform his constitutional responsibilities both within and outside the country. This statement added that the president's schedule is guided by national priorities rather than political commentary, and that his administrations remain active across economic, security and international diplomacy efforts aimed at sustaining growth and enhancing Nigeria's global profile. He urged political actors to focus on substantive issues rather than appearances. Now to Ekiti. The High Court sitting in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State, has nullified the governorship primaries election conducted by the People's Democratic Party, PDP, ahead of the 2026 governorship poll and ordered the party to conduct a fresh primary. Justice Babs Quavy, in his ruling, upheld allegations of irregularities raised by one of the aspirants, Funsho Ayeni, against the conduct of the primary. Ayeni had approached the court to challenge the exercise, alleging manipulation of the approved delegates list on the day of the election, which he argued compromised transparency, international democracy, and fairness in the process. In its judgment, the court held that there was gross abuse of process and a clear disregard for the PDP's electoral guidelines. It further ruled that the violation ran contrary to the party's constitution and the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, which binds all individuals and institutions. Reacting to the ruling, the Southwest Zonal Publicity Secretary of the PDP, Mr. Sanya Atofarati, said the party would explore all legal options available to it, including an appeal. He maintained that the ruling would not derail the party's preparations for the June 20, 2026 governorship elections, stressing that the PDP's campaign machinery was already in motion. And now to Ondo State. The Ondo State Commissioner of Police, Monday Agbunika, has approved the deployment of Tomofe Nwabueze as Divisional Police Officer DPO of Ekpoma, Esan West Local Government Area of the state. Nwabueze replaces the former DPO Nelson Igbimnoba, who was removed after deadly protests rocked Ekpoma in Edo Central Senatorial District. Disclosing these in a statement on Tuesday, the spokesman for the Edo State Police Command, Eno Ekwedom, said Nwabueze's appointment takes immediate effect. He said the action is part of ongoing security assessment and strategic positioning in Ekpoma. The crisis commenced last Saturday in Ekpoma when residents staged a protest over rising insecurity, including kidnapping and the killing of a youth on Friday night. Still in Edo State Police Commissioner of Police, Monday Opevina, has approved the deployment of finally to the Kwara TV Sports Desk. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has appointed Ghanaian referee Daniel Ni Leye for the semi-finals encounter between Nigeria and Morocco. The 39-year-old is one of Africa's top referees. Leye will be officiating his second game at the ongoing 2025 African Cup of Nations. South Africa's Zakhele Suela and Sore Mafose from Lesotho will serve as assistant referees 1 and 2 respectively. Rwanda's Samuel Wabrinka will take up the role of fourth official. South African referee Obonile Tom will be in charge of VAR. Meanwhile, Super Eagles head coach Eric Chelle has expressed disappointment with the Wilfred Ndidi's suspension for his side's semi-final fixture against Morocco. Ndidi picked his second yellow card in the kick-out round of the ongoing 2025 African Cup of Nations in Nigeria's 2-0 quarterfinals victory over the Desert Foxes of Algeria. The 29-year-old was earlier booked in this round of 16 contest against the Mozambique. Chelle acknowledged Ndidi's influence on the team. Club Brugge star Rafael Onyedika is expected to take Ndidi's place in the starting lineup against the host. Onyedika bagged a brace in his first appearance in the competition against Uganda. With the report on AFCON 2025 concludes our package of Kwara TV News Now, reaching you live from Kwara State Television Authority at Pata Yakuba along the Kwara State capital. Do stay tuned for Ilorin Lerifi I am Zakaria Swakat. Good evening.
ẹ kú dédé wòyí ìròyìn lẹ́rìfẹ́ ló ń dé sójú wòrán láti lè ṣe ẹ̀mú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tó kalẹ̀ sí àpáta Yakuba nílùú Ìlọrin ẹlẹ́rìí wa lórí StarTime channels 113 Free TV channel 502 àti bó ṣe ń lọ lọ́wọ́ lórí Facebook àti YouTube at Kwara TV. Fọláṣadé Ọ̀dẹ́lábí ni oníròyìn ìròyìn ọ̀hún rẹ̀ lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́. Àwọn ìgbésẹ̀ ìjọba àpapọ̀ kan láìpẹ́ yìí láti tó fòfin de ṣíṣe ayẹyẹ ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́jáde láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ àti girama ní àwọn ènìyàn tí ń gbà bí ẹni gba ìgbà ọtí báyìí. Fatima Mohammed bá àwọn òbí kan sọ̀rọ̀ nílùú Ìlọrin tí ń ṣe olú ìlú ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara tí ó sì jábọ̀ wípé lára àtúntò tó ń bá ẹ̀ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ní orílẹ̀-èdè yìí ní ilé-iṣẹ́ ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó ń rí sí ètò ẹ̀kọ́ ti mú àdínkù bá iye ayẹyẹ ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jáde tí yóò máa wáyé láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ pẹ̀lú àlàyé wípé àwọn ọmọ tó bá parí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ alákọ̀ọ́bẹ̀rẹ̀ ní ìpele kẹfà nìkan àti àwọn tí wọ́n bá parí ilé ẹ̀kọ́ girama lọ́dún kẹfà wọn ni wọ́n ní àǹfààní láti ṣe ayẹyẹ ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ jáde kúrò láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ náà. Ìgbésẹ̀ náà tún mẹ́nubà àwọn ìwé kíkà tí ó pójú owó láti máa lò láwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ tí ìṣiṣẹ́ wọn sì gbọ́dọ̀ wà fún bí ọdún 4 sí 6 kì í ṣe àwọn ìwé kíkà tí kò ní ju sáà ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan lọ mọ́. Lára àwọn òbí tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ṣàlàyé wípé inú àwọn dùn sí nǹkan tí ìjọba àpapọ̀ sọ náà tí wọ́n sì ní yóò mú àdínkù bá iye owó tí àwọn ń ná sórí ìwé rírà lọ́dọọdún látàrí bí àbúrò yóò ṣe ní àǹfààní àti máa lo ìwé tí ẹ̀gbọ́n rẹ̀ bá lò kù bí ó ṣe ti wà látijọ́. Ní ìdáhùn sí àṣẹ tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara pa nípa àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ wọlé fún sáà ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ọdún 2026 láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ lórí ẹ̀rọ àgbàgbé látàrí àìrájájá ètò ààbò àmọ́ inú àwọn òbí àti àwọn tó jẹ́ àgbà ọ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́ka ètò ẹ̀kọ́ kan kò dùn sí ìgbésẹ̀ náà. Àwáù Dáúdà jábọ̀ wípé látàrí àṣẹ náà tí ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara pa láti ti àwọn ilé ẹ̀kọ́ kan pa nítorí àkọlù àwọn agbébọn láwọn apá kan ìpínlẹ̀ yìí, àwọn ènìyàn ìlú ti kọminú fún ìpalára tí ìgbésẹ̀ náà yóò kó bá kàlẹ́ndà ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ àwọn ọmọ ọ̀hún. Nígbà tí wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìgbésẹ̀ ọ̀hún, àwọn ẹni ọ̀rọ̀ kan tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn Kwara TV sọ̀rọ̀ fi ẹ̀rù wọn hàn lórí ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ orí ẹ̀rọ rédíò náà pẹ̀lú àfikún wípé àwọn òbí tàbí alágbàtọ́ àwọn ọmọ tí ọ̀rọ̀ kan gbọ́dọ̀ wà lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ wọn láti máa tọ́ wọn sọ́nà nílé kí ìṣiṣẹ́ rẹ̀ tó lè rẹ́sẹ̀ wálẹ̀. Wọ́n tọ́ka sí wípé àwọn akẹ́kọ̀ọ́ kan wà tó jẹ́ wípé àlàyé kì í tètè yé wọn tí wọ́n nílò ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ojúkojú tí ìkẹ́kọ̀ọ́ sì nílò ìbéèrè ohun ìdáhùn ní kíláàsì. Lára àwọn òbí kan tí wọ́n bá ikọ̀ ìròyìn iléeṣẹ́ yìí sọ̀rọ̀ ní ìgbésẹ̀ náà dára púpọ̀ tí wọ́n sì rọ ìjọba ìpínlẹ̀ Kwara láti tètè wá nǹkan ṣe sí ètò ààbò ní kíákíá. Ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú All Progressives Congress APC lónìí ti jiyàn ọ̀rọ̀ tí olùdíje sí ipò ààrẹ lẹ́gbẹ́ òṣèlú Labour Party Peter Obi sọ wípé ṣé ni ààrẹ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu ń fi iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ sílẹ̀ nígbà gbogbo tí wọ́n sì ní ààrẹ ń ṣe iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ bí ó ti tọ́ àti bí ó ti yẹ o pé ààyè rẹ̀ kankan kò ṣòfò. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan tí agbẹnusọ ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú APC ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkó Ṣẹ̀yẹ Ọládẹ̀jọ sọ, ó ṣàlàyé wípé ààrẹ Tinubu ń ṣe iṣẹ́ rẹ̀ dójú àmì bóyá nígbà tí ó wà nílé àbí bí kò bá sí ní orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà. Àfilédè náà fi kún wípé àwọn àlàkalẹ̀ ìṣiṣẹ́ ààrẹ ló kún fún ìfẹ́ bí yóò ṣe sin orílẹ̀-èdè yìí kì í ṣe nípa ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú tí ó sì ní sa gbogbo ipá rẹ̀ láti mú ìdúróore bá ètò ààbò, ẹ̀ka ọrọ̀ ajé àti ọ̀rọ̀ nípa ilẹ̀ òkèèrè. Ó rọ àwọn olóṣèlú kí wọ́n mójútó ohun tí yóò bá mú ìlọsíwájú bá orílẹ̀-èdè yìí yàtọ̀ sí àwọn ohun tí yóò máa da omi àlàáfíà ìlú rú. Ní ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì, ilé-ẹjọ́ gíga ìjọba àpapọ̀ tó kalẹ̀ sí Àdó Èkìtì ìyẹn ìpínlẹ̀ Èkìtì ti wọ́gilé ètò ìdìbò kò mẹ́sẹ̀ ó yọ gómìnà tí ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú People's Democratic Party PDP ṣe ṣáájú ètò ìdìbò gómìnà tí yóò wáyé ní ọdún 2026 tí ẹgbẹ́ sì pàṣẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ètò ìdìbò kò mẹ́sẹ̀ yọ mìíràn. Onídàájọ́ Babs Kowewin nínú ìdájọ́ rẹ̀ ni ó ti ka àwọn ẹ̀sùn àìtẹ̀lé òfin tí ọ̀kan lára àwọn olùpẹ̀jọ́ Fúnṣọ́ Ayẹni fi kàn tó tako àlàkalẹ̀ àgbékalẹ̀ ìdìbò kò mẹ́sẹ̀ ó yọ. Ayẹni ló kọrí sí ilé ẹjọ́ láti pe ẹjọ́ tako ìbò náà tí ó sì fẹ̀sùn kàn pé wọ́n ṣe màgòmágó nínú rẹ̀ bí wọn kò ṣe jẹ́ kí àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ tí wọ́n pójú owó kan kópa lọ́jọ́ ìdìbò tí ó sì pè fún ìkákòyàwó àti gbangba làṣántà. Nínú ìdájọ́ ilé ẹjọ́ ni ó ti ṣàlàyé wípé àwọn ohun tó tàpá sí òfin ìdìbò nínú ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú pọ̀ tó sì tún tako òfin ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP àti òfin orílẹ̀-èdè Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú. Nígbà tí ó ń sọ̀rọ̀ lórí ìdájọ́ náà, alukoro ẹgbẹ́ òṣèlú PDP ní ẹkùn ìwọ̀ oòrùn gúúsù orílẹ̀-èdè yìí arákùnrin Sànyà Atófarati sọ wípé ẹgbẹ́ yóò sa gbogbo ipá rẹ̀ lórí ìdájọ́ náà láti pe ẹjọ́ kòtẹ́mi lọ́rùn, pẹ̀lú àfikún wípé ìdájọ́ náà kò ní dá ẹgbẹ́ àwọn dúró láti tẹ̀síwájú fún ìpalẹ̀mọ́ ètò ìdìbò gómìnà tí yóò wáyé ní 20 oṣù kẹfà ọdún 2026, pẹ̀lú àfikún wípé ikọ̀ ìpolongo ìbò ẹgbẹ́ PDP ti wà lójú iṣẹ́. Gómìnà ìpínlẹ̀ Ondo Lucky Ayédatiwa ti fún àwọn ẹlẹ́wọ̀n 7 ní ìyọ̀ǹda láwọn ọgbà àtúnṣe orílẹ̀-èdè yìí tó wà ní ìpínlẹ̀ náà, àwọn tí wọ́n tún jẹ́jọ́ ẹ̀sùn ọlọ́kan-ò-jọ̀kan. Nínú àtẹ̀jáde kan lónìí látọwọ́ akọ̀wé ìròyìn sí gómìnà náà Ebenezer Adeniyan ni ó ti fi ọ̀rọ̀ náà síta fún àwọn oníròyìn tí ó ní ó jẹ́ ìgbésẹ̀ láti fi sàmì ọdún 61 ọjọ́ ìbí gómìnà lórí òkè èèpẹ̀ tí ó ṣe lọ́jọ́ Ajé. Àfilédè náà tọ́ka sí wípé àwọn 7 tí gómìnà dá sílẹ̀ náà ni wọ́n ṣe ìwádìí ẹ̀sùn tí a fi kàn wọ́n fínífíní tí wọ́n sì rí wípé wọ́n ti ń gbé ìgbé ayé tó dára báyìí tí ìwà wọn sì ti padà lọ́gbà àtúnṣe náà, èyí tí ìdásílẹ̀ wọn kò ní lè ṣe ìpalára kankan fún àwùjọ. Ẹ̀wẹ̀, ẹni tí ó jẹ́ alága àjọ tó ń rí sí ìyọ̀ǹda àwọn tí gómìnà dá sílẹ̀ náà Mercy Káyọ̀dé Àjùlọ sọ̀rọ̀ ìlú lọ́gọ̀ ẹnu fún gómìnà pé ó gbé ìgbésẹ̀ tó dára láti fi sàmì ọjọ́ ìbí rẹ̀ lórí òkè èèpẹ̀. Ìròyìn lérèfé kò ní ju báyìí lọ fún ti sáà títí di aago 8 tẹ́wọ̀n máa pàdé.